You'll never forget the day your father's business partner, a man you've grown up respecting and admiring, stood in the office, looked you dead in the eye, and insulted you in front of everyone. The words cut deep, and you felt like you were walking on eggshells around him after that. The memory still hurts, but it's a painful reminder of the catalyst that set off a chain reaction, taking you on a wild ride of self-discovery and confrontation. Before I dive into the story, let me ask you, have you ever felt belittled or disrespected by someone in a position of power? How did you handle it? It's something that can leave a lasting impact, making you wonder if it's your fault or if you're somehow at fault. For me, it was a wake-up call, a harsh reminder that people in power often use their position to intimidate and control. It started when I was just a teenager, working part-time at my dad's business. I was eager to learn and please, always looking for ways to help. However, his business partner, let's call him John, seemed to take great pleasure in making me feel inadequate. He'd mock my ideas, belittle my efforts, and question my intelligence in front of others. It was like he had a personal vendetta against me. I tried to brush it off, thinking it was just John's way of pushing me to do better. But deep down, the words stung. I began to doubt myself, wondering if I was truly good enough. The more it happened, the more I felt like I was walking on eggshells around him, never knowing when he'd strike next. One day, it all came to a head. I was working late, trying to meet a tight deadline, when John stormed into the office, his face red with anger. He started yelling at me, calling me lazy and incompetent. I tried to defend myself, but he wouldn't listen. The words kept coming, each one landing like a punch to the gut. As I stood there, feeling like I'd been punched in the face, something inside me snapped. I realized that I didn't have to take it anymore. I didn't have to be a punching bag for John's ego. It was a moment of clarity, a turning point that changed everything. But little did I know, this was just the beginning of a wild ride. A ride that would take me on a journey of self-discovery, confrontation, and ultimately, a deeper understanding of myself and the people around me. As I look back, I realize that the insult was just a symptom of a much deeper issue. An issue that went far beyond John's behavior and into the very fabric of our business. It was a wake-up call, a reminder that power and control can be used to hurt and manipulate. But it was also a lesson in resilience, a lesson that I've carried with me ever since. When faced with adversity, we have two choices. We can let it break us, or we can rise above it. I chose the latter, and it's been a journey that's shaped me into the person I am today. Before we move on, let me ask you again. Have you ever felt belittled or disrespected by someone in a position of power? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments below. Your experiences will help shape this narrative, and who knows, maybe we'll even learn from each other. As we continue, remember that we're not just talking about a business or a relationship. We're talking about human nature. We're talking about the way people interact, the way power is used, and the way we respond to adversity. It's a complex web, but one that's full of lessons waiting to be learned. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into the events that unfolded after that fateful insult. We'll explore the consequences of John's actions and how they affected not just me, but the entire business. It's a story of confrontation, of standing up for what's right, and of the unexpected surprises that come with it. So, let's keep moving forward, shall we? You've been walking on eggshells around your father's business partner for weeks now. The memory of his insult still stings, and you've been trying to avoid him as much as possible. But today, something's different. You're feeling a mix of emotions, anger, frustration, and a hint of curiosity. As you sit in your room, staring blankly at your computer screen, a thought strikes you. You remember the day your father's business partner came to your house, eager to finalize the contract for the new business venture. You recall the excitement and nervousness in the air as your father and his partner shook hands, sealing the deal. But amidst all the celebrations and congratulations, something didn't feel right. Now, as you think back to that day, you begin to wonder, did you actually sign that contract? You remember the papers being passed around, the pen being handed to you, and the sound of your father's voice reassuring you that it was all fine. But could you have missed something? The uncertainty starts to gnaw at you, and before you know it, you're rummaging through old files and documents, searching for any mention of the contract. Your heart racing, you finally find what you're looking for, a scan of the contract with your signature on it. Your jaw drops as you stare at the screen, your mind reeling with the implications. You had no idea that your signature was on the contract, and now it's too late to do anything about it. The realization hits you like a ton of bricks. You've unknowingly become a silent partner in your father's business. The words of the insult come flooding back, and this time, they cut deeper than ever before. You feel like you've been deceived, betrayed by someone you trusted and admired. The anger and frustration you've been feeling start to boil over, and you know exactly what you need to do next. You take a deep breath, trying to calm down, but your mind is racing with questions. What exactly does it mean to be a silent partner? How much control do you have over the business? And what about the insults your father's partner hurled at you? Do they even matter now that you've discovered the truth? You start to feel a sense of purpose, a fire burning within you to confront the truth and demand answers. As you sit there, staring at the scan of the contract, you can't help but wonder, what would you do if you were in this situation? Would you try to confront your father's partner, or would you take a step back and let things blow over? The question hangs in the air, and you can't help but feel a sense of solidarity with anyone who's ever felt like they've been wronged. You're not alone in this feeling, and you know that this story is far from over. Think about it. Have you ever felt like you've been wronged or deceived by someone you trusted? How did you handle the situation? Share your story in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. You gathered your courage and confronted your father's business partner, demanding to know why he had kept this from you and what his intentions were. I can only imagine how difficult it must have been to sit face to face with a person who had hurt you so deeply. As you looked him straight in the eye, you felt a mix of emotions, anger, frustration, and a hint of curiosity. You were determined to get the truth, no matter what it took. When he responded, his words were both surprising and infuriating. He claimed that he had done it to protect you, to shield you from the harsh realities of the business world. But that only left you with more questions than answers. Why hadn't he trusted you enough to be honest with you? Why had he felt the need to belittle you in front of your father and the rest of the team? The more he spoke, the more you realized that you were dealing with a complex web of motivations and agendas. In that moment, something inside of you shifted. You began to see that this wasn't just about your father's business partner or his actions. It was about your own power and agency. You realized that you had the right to know the truth, to be respected and valued as an individual. And with that realization came a newfound sense of self-respect and determination. You knew that you had to take back control of your life and your business, to forge your own path and make your own decisions. As you left the meeting, you felt a sense of resolve that you had never felt before. You were no longer the same person who had been hurt and belittled by your father's business partner. You were stronger, wiser, and more determined. And as you looked back on that experience, you realized that it had been a turning point in your life, a moment of truth that had set you on a path of empowerment and self-discovery. So, what did you learn from this experience? How can you apply it to your own life? Remember, our voices matter, and we have the power to take back control of our lives and our businesses. If you're in a similar situation or know someone who is, I encourage you to speak up and demand the truth. Don't let anyone belittle or hurt you. Instead, rise above it and take back control. As you share your own stories of overcoming adversity and taking back control, remember that you're not alone. We're all in this together, and together, we can achieve great things. So go ahead, share your story, and let's support each other on this journey to empowerment and self-discovery.